Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Four wrestling teams have new trophies to add to their school display, and an unbelievable story of a wrestler who accomplished something much bigger than a win on the mat. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Midland's Wilson Shinsky finished his senior season on the wrestling mat with a 21-11 record and an appearance in the Division I regionals. But none of the wins were probably the highlight of his season. That's because on the way to his regional bouts in Heartland on Saturday, February 18th, Shinsky and his dad, Steve, stopped their vehicle on I-75 to pull a man from a burning vehicle and helped resuscitate him. It's a remarkable story of being in the right place at the right time, as Wilson plans to study nursing in college and Dad Steve is a retired Midland firefighter. It didn't take long for them to see the driver was unconscious behind the wheel and in need of desperate help. They administered CPR until an off-duty paramedic arrived with an AED. After a shock to the driver, the monitor showed heart activity. By then, more help arrived and the driver was taken by ambulance to the hospital. At that point, the Shinskys continued to Heartland so Wilson could wrestle his regional matches. For more on this amazing story and to see a photo of Steve and Wilson with the driver they helped save, please visit MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to 53-52 overtime win over Detroit Renaissance and a battle of the Catholic League champ versus the Detroit Public School League champ. To Hart senior Parker Hovey, he scored 24 points in a win over Mason County Central. The win gives Hart its first boys basketball title in 60 years. And the Mackinac City Twins, Larissa and Lars Huffman, they both went over 1,000 career points just 5 days apart. Lars for the boys team, Larissa for the girls.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup it's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
1 and 6 and on down the line. If a bowler goes out of turn during MHSAA competition in accordance with USBC Rule 8, Item D, a dead ball would be declared. The delivery does not count. The pins must be respotted and the correct bowler is then required to continue play. While a recent change to NCAA bowling rules would penalize bowling out of order on the wrong lane with a 0 for the attempt starting with the first infraction, the NCAA rule is not used for MHSAA competition. Instead, the frame is reset and the correct bowler is free to continue.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Team wrestling finals were this past weekend at the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo, and 4 Big Shirted its second straight team title, defeating Bronson 50 Max Scots in the semis, registering an impressive 17 pins total over the weekend. In Division III, Dundee won its 6th straight title and 14th overall by beating Whitehall 60-18. Dundee advanced to the finals by defeating Hart and Constantine. In Division II, Lowell has now won a decade's worth of team titles in a row. Yes, Lowell won its 10th straight team title, knocking off Goodrich 42-18. The Red Arrows beat Bloomfield Hills' Brother Rice and Gaylord in the quarters and semis. And in Division I, after 2 straight runner-up finishes, Detroit Catholic Central is back on top. They outpointed Heartland 41-31 in an exciting final after beating Warren De La Salle Collegiate and Romeo to get to the final match. For full results, recaps, and more, check out MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Lobbed ahead over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got it right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back three for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4. 56-45 the final. It is March on MGN. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We have reached the end of the regular season here tonight, and it's a backyard Bulldog battle. Grandville, Byron Center, ready to go to close the regular season. We've already reached game 22 of 22 on the docket for either team, and we've got a lot to get to in this Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, because tonight has a lot of storylines, a lot of big player versus player matchups, and of course all that idea of momentum, and we'll do plenty as well to break down the upcoming districts coming up, what we have coming up next week as well on MGN, as we are, as I just said, jump-starting, tipping off the month of March here on MGN. We've got our first playoff coverage, at least on the basketball side. We've had some hockey tomorrow night, as we will have the girls' district final in District 11 as Hudsonville takes on Jenison from Zeeland West. We'll have more coverage coming up tomorrow night. And then all next week will be split between Holland and Zeeland East for boys' District 11. We'll have Grandville versus Holland to open the week on Monday. Both semifinals. We'll have the championship game in District 11 here in Division 1. It is going to be a ton of fun. We cannot wait to get to it. Grandville, Byron Center here tonight. Two teams coming in off of different directions last time out. For Grandville on their senior night, a 71-47 win on MGN Air on Tuesday night. Byron Center lost to Forest Hills Northern last time out, 49-47 in a tough one, dropping the Byron Center Bulldogs to 12-9 on the year. The Bulldogs of Grandville sit at 13-8 on the season, coming in to the final matchup here. A lot of great man-on-man matches. We can talk about Regnerus versus Karel, of course, the big men for either team that are going to be one of the main storylines, but so much else to talk about. Two great defensive teams tonight, and a lot more beyond that to get to. We have a lot here coming up on the Bates Agency pregame show. Now we're going to quick step aside when we come back. Friday night, Grandville took down Rockford in a huge program-type win, a great win for momentum to close the regular season. We'll have a look back at some of the big highlights from Grandville's 51-44 win over Rockford last Friday night that closed out the OK Red season. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Byron Center.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
.446 to go and no score in the first. Coach Clough looking for a foul there, not getting it. Man driving, can't get the finish. Forward to Regnerus, turning, scoring. We have points. 4.5 to go.
Bulldogs aren't getting shut out. 3 minutes in, almost 3.5 to get some points on the board, but miss from Tyson Mann. Regnerus there to get the putback.
Now here's Irwin looking to knot the game. Blocked by Heckman. Rebound out to Tyson Mann, and he's going to run. Mann with Regnerus to the rack. Euro and a finish.
Nice move from Tyson Mann.
Stockwell to give the Bulldogs the lead back. Yes, sir.
Inbound pass, able to lob it up to Regnerus. Goes up and gets it and immediately dumps it off to Stockwell right next to him there. Two defenders going to try to high point it with Regnerus, and good awareness to find Stockwell for the open three.
Regnerus bouncing and finishing. Bulldogs get to double digits. 5:08 in the second. Space, Stockwell. Cat the friendly rattle.
Stockwell confidently putting that shot up a couple feet beyond the arc. Has a bit of an opening though and takes it, gets a nice bounce off the glass, and a roll and then a bounce off, but he'll take it, his second triple of the night.
Pair of threes for him, and that's always a dangerous thing. When Stockwell starts feeling it from deep, it certainly adds an extra element to the Bulldog offense.
Right. A little bit. With some help maybe from the Bulldogs even, with that shot just kind of getting thrown up there, but able to go in.
Tyson Mann and one. It remains 19-15. Landis to drive, swatted off the backboard by Regnerus. Bulldogs push to Cam. He'll go to the line for one more. It's kind of a late sloppy pass back to the way. Regnerus is fouled and one again. Trading and ones. This time Regnerus will try to complete the three-point play. Ryder hates for Stockwell, who had a pair of triples in the first half. Stockwell off the bounce. Can't get the finish, but he grabs the rebound and he puts it home. A grown man play from Logan Stockwell. The Bulldogs lead by 6.
Impressive, able to split the defenders, able to get to the rim, and immediately knowing that his initial shot was off, gets his own rebound. Trying to front the post and able to come over and still hold his ground, even as a help side defender.
Regnerus twists and pushes that one in. Stockwell reaching Regnerus, bouncing and scoring. 5 to go in the final frame of the final game of the OK Red season here tonight. The Bulldogs out of the timeout with it. Both teams 6 fouls against right now. Regnerus gave a bit of a shoulder, drives on pitch and scores. Cam Regnerus with 21.
Regnerus able to use that pivot foot, create some separation in the defense.
Hendrickson to step back. Regnerus backing on Lepper. Whip to the corner. 3 for Stockwell. Yes! Logan Stockwell. Bulldogs by 11.
That ball was partially tipped.
And the Bulldogs take it with 5. .51-44, the Bulldogs close the OK Red season with a win. They will tie Rockford in the final standings. And the Bulldogs close the OK Red season, along the Rams, at 9-5 on the season. It was not easy tonight. It was not easy for either team tonight. But in the end, the Bulldogs in a tough one make enough plays, CT. and Grandville picks up a big win at home against their rival going into the final week of the season.
Yeah, a huge one in terms of rewriting what happened the first time between these two teams, and a huge one in terms of picking up momentum. Of course, a couple more games in the non-conference to close out the season, but this is one that's going to stick with you for a while when you beat your rival on your home floor.
So many big games going around the area. This one, though, I think to these two teams meant a lot just in terms of energy. Yeah, there wasn't a conference on the line. Yeah, there's maybe not even playoff positioning really on the line. We look at how it's going to fall, but this is a win that means a lot to this team in this community. You have to say that much. Beating Rockford has been, a little bit of the boogeyman for the Bulldogs in multiple sports. Especially the basketball and football crucibles of play that we've seen. And this is a big one for Grandville tonight. 51-44. Grandville over Rockford. We'll be right back with more from the Bates Agency postgame. And welcome back here to Byron Center. Nate Dreyer with you on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And as we welcome you inside Byron Center, some of the main talking points for the pregame show blown up a little bit. A little bit of breaking news as Camden Karel, the terrific sophomore 6'9" big man, a kid that's visited Purdue, visited Michigan, and plenty of other places, a true Division I Power 6 Big Ten type big. He is out tonight. Sounds like going back to Tuesday, had a little bit of an ankle injury. So Karel out tonight for Byron Center, and that throws off the first big talking point in this game, which is going to be Cam Regnerus versus Camden Karel. When you look at the two leading big men for either teams and what they've done on both ends of the floor for their teams, a great interior defensive presence. Karel winds up playing a little bit more on the wing offensively somewhat, but that matchup suddenly scratched, and suddenly you look at this game as a game for the Grandville Bulldogs. I think they're looking at as still obviously very tough, an unbelievably good defensive team for Byron Center, but they are losing the guy that really has helped make things happen for them all year long in terms of a Division I type talent in the big Karel. So Karel out tonight, our first major talking point to get to in this contest. Of course, the idea of momentum moving into the playoffs so big, and for Grandville, it's back-to-back wins for the Bulldogs in terms of pretty big ones on their home floor. The win also against Jenison makes it 3 in a row, but for Grandville beating Thornapple Kellogg last time out, beating Rockford as you just saw the time before, and it all turns into this. The District 11, which we will have coverage of on game night for Grandville. They start at the Holland Dutch Dome, which is about 2 minutes from my house, so I'm looking forward to being able to go there for the first round game as we will be there. So the Bulldogs open up against a Holland team that has struggled this year. Should be one that, of course, you can't look past any game in the playoffs, one that does set up well for the Bulldogs. And then you're looking at the winner of West Ottawa versus Zeeland West. Now, Zeeland West with Merritt Aldrink, one of the best bigs also in the area, certainly would be the favorite in that game, but West Ottawa coming off a big season-closing win against Holland Christian has bursted them into this playoff run. Of course, a D1 team. They've picked up some big wins. We know the strength of the OK Red, but likely looking at Grandville versus Zeeland West, a matchup that we've seen in the playoffs. We've seen some high-intensity battles between those two in the playoffs. On the other side of the bracket, Hudsonville is waiting, and they'll see Zeeland East and Jenison's winner. And then all of that quite possibly shaping up for the rubber match we all have been looking for if the Bulldogs are able to run the table, as we will have Grandville versus Hudsonville on Friday night. The final two rounds will be at Zeeland East. The Bulldogs open the playoffs against Holland. So that is a look at District 11, which we will have complete coverage of on game night on Michigan Sports Radio as we start our March on MGN coverage, breaking out new enhanced radio graphics as well. A little bit cleaner tonight, as you can pick up on, just in time for the start of this playoff run and the road to the Breslin Center, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of D1 coverage continuing on through the regions, even the quarters. Of course, look at a team like Calvin Christian, so good this season. They, of course, will fall right into our purview of coverage in the Hudsonville-Grandville area. Of course, the first hope is that we just see the Bulldogs go for a heck of a run and show up for a heck of a story and see how far they are able to go. So with the first story that we wanted to get to in terms of that big matchup out, the next question then will come into the idea of defense this evening. Both of these teams unbelievably good on their own ends of the floor. Grandville, of course, right around 53, 54 points per game in terms of what they're scoring, what they're giving up. Byron Center scores 55 per game. They give up 48.7 per game. That's the first talking point. They're very good. Both teams will play a lot of man-to-man in the half quarters, of course. Byron Center, you'll see sometimes extend things more into a 1-2-2 type three-quarter court trap. Their JV team even was just showing that a little bit in their win over the Grandville Bulldogs. It's going to be a long night of that, folks. But the Byron Center Bulldogs JV team over the Grandville Bulldogs JV team showed a little bit of that. But toughness, defense. But both of these teams build their defenses around the big man looming in the middle. We know the shot blocker that Cam Regnerus is. He honestly probably could have gotten credit for 10 blocks on Tuesday against Thornapple Kellogg, even in limited minutes in that game compared to his normal allotment. And then normally you see Karel in the middle of everything for Byron Center playing the same sort of shot blocker role. It's now going to be J.J. Brock, their junior center, that's going to be the big man alone, needing to step up in terms of the shot blocking, the interior defense for Byron Center. So be curious what Coach Rodriguez and company for BC have to draw up in that regard to maybe change up their defense that typically so much is revolving around their top-level Power 6 prospect in Camden Karel on the inside. About 11 minutes until tip-off in this one. Grandville, Byron Center, a Bulldog battle to close the regular season. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already...
Hi everyone, Nate from MGN. Hopefully everyone is enjoying today's presentation of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We are incredibly proud of the last few seasons of MGN and the coverage and broadcast editions that we've been able to bring, including adding in-house produced video coverage this winter. We also are very, very excited for the future and have some big plans on how to expand and improve further upon our video, podcast, and radio coverage. We are incredibly thankful to Grandville and the Michigan high school sports community for their support as we've seen our audience continue to grow like wildfire, seeing upwards of 8,000 to 10,000 people in total tuning in for some of our largest Friday night and playoff coverage games. We're also, of course, thankful to the Grandville Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency and Centennial Securities for their great long-time presenting sponsorship of MGN. Because of them, all these great additions that we've been able to make over the last few years and all these plans we have going forward have been able to happen. Of course, also, we have to thank the community that is tuned in, and because of all that, we're in a position where we are looking to add partners here at MGN as we continue to look to improve that coverage going forward, along with our other due diligence looking on ahead. We can even reach out to you, the listener here today, if you, your company, or somewhere you know may have interest in partnering with Michigan Game Night. Please feel free to reach out. MGN offers a unique opportunity to sponsor both the Grandville area, get your ads reached out into the West Michigan area and beyond throughout the state of Michigan with playoff coverage. There's no one broadcast team and maybe even additional broadcasts within the MGN window that quite offer that sort of benefit for your company. And through customizable presenting sponsorship plans that are for the 2023-2024 school year, we'll even be able to throw in this winter onto these affordable plans. I think there's a unique, customizable deal that could be met to help best find the needs of your company, meet them to MGN. We are so excited about what's coming. We're thankful to the community that's been able to support us over the last few years, and we're really, really ready to see what's next. And hopefully, along with the great support from the Bates Agency and Centennial Securities, we also are going to be able to march forward with even more great things going forward. We've added video coverage, and now I think it's time to add on even more to our video, radio, and podcast coverage going forward. So thanks again, everyone, for their support. And make sure if you do have interest to reach out through MichiganGameNight.com. You can find an entire contact page right there, in particular through email, migamenight@gmail.com. There's phone numbers and more also listed that you can reach out to myself through on the Michigan Game Night website. Thanks again, everyone. Now let's get back to the game. And welcome back here to Byron Center on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We are just about ready to go. Inside 7 minutes until tip-off in this one. Both Grandville and Byron Center have gone back to their respective locker rooms and are getting their final words in with head coaches Joe Rodriguez and Desmond Young and their staffs. Again, the OK Red. Byron Center finishes at 12-9 overall, 8-6 in the OK White, which right along with the OK Red among the toughest of the OK Conference divisions in terms of basketball. So, we went over the defense, went over, of course, Karel out. So then the storyline that was going to revolve around the other bigs. You talk about for the Bulldogs, Corbin Heckman playing the 4, and then typically J.J. Brock plays the 5, Karel plays the 4. They kind of switch off depending on what side of the floor they're on. Those storylines become even bigger because Brock going to have an even bigger role. Ben Hegel, their junior wing, 6'5", will step into more of the 4 with Karel out tonight. So with that said, then the question is, in terms of more question marks just in general, what does Byron Center have in terms of their normal attack? How grinding will they be? Things being funneled towards Brock on the inside versus Karel, how does that affect things? For the Grandville Bulldogs, the storylines, of course, the last few games offensively, things have started to click a little bit better, especially last time out, that 71-47 win over Thornapple Kellogg on senior night. But for Tyson Mann in particular, you've seen the senior guard really elevating his game down the stretch of the year. Back-to-back games with 17 points for football, number 17 Tyson Mann, including 6 rebounds against Jennison in that contest, 17 against Thornapple Kellogg. So really good performances down the stretch here for Tyson Mann, who's been leading the way offensively for the Bulldogs. Cam Regnerus, 24 points to lead all scorers and lead the Bulldogs with a double-double against Rockford. He's been so good. But the main thing that stood out for me in Grandville's win over Thornapple Kellogg was the depth scoring, the depth shooting that is staying hot, going back to the Rockford game as well. It starts with Logan Stockwell, the Bulldogs senior wing. 11 points on 3 threes against Thornapple Kellogg, 13 points on 3 threes against Rockford. When he is confidently shooting the basketball from deep, that certainly adds another element to the Bulldog offense. It gives them that second or third wing and perimeter scorer that they can go to, and it's a very important facet of the Bulldog offense to be able to keep him rolling. And you got to look to Colin Hybor as well, the sophomore. Looked pretty good offensively, knocked down a couple shots against Thornapple Kellogg, had 9 points on 3 threes against Jennison. If he also on the wing can continue to shoot the way that he is, it adds one more wave of scoring that Grandville is going to need come playoff time. When you look at the teams that they have to face in terms of the terrific defense, the big men inside, and potentially Cam Regnerus being slowed a little bit offensively, like somewhat what Hudsonville has done to him on previous matchups this year. Of course, you can expect Zewan West and Aldrich to be able to somewhat shut him down like that. The perimeter scoring and the depth perimeter scoring off of Tyson Mann, off of Quentin Hendrickson will be very critical for the Bulldogs' attack if they are going to be able to continue to win and extend their season, as already through senior night with this class. Both teams back out on the floor and continuing their warm-ups as we go inside 4 minutes, I should say, until opening tip in this one. Byron Center in Grandville. It's a Bulldog battle. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here in the Bates Agency pregame.
And he took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
It's a 3-week journey, unmatched in almost all sports. It takes 8 games of perfection, from Monday night at your home gym in districts to the grand stage of Michigan's largest college basketball arena. Neighborhood district foes for a week, then the best of the region, the best of your quarter of the state, and eventually all eyes on the best from each side of the state, with it all on the line in late March. Every game is a winner-takes-all and a pure display on the hardwood, with styles of play as varied as the corners of the state the teams travel from. To win, you'll need to conjure up some of your own March magic. No one makes it through this run unscathed. There's stories of perfection, stories of redemption, and stories of some of the great names and teams to lace them up in the mitten. We've seen them all here. The greatest teams and players on the west side conquering all. Title-winning moments only March supplies. And the end of dynasties and miracle runs that counter the unmatched elation with an equal emotional crushing. In the MHSAA basketball tournament, moments make the journey. Don't blink, because you might miss one. It's an arduous 3-week battle, but it goes by pretty quick. This is March on MGN. And welcome back here to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Both teams have wrapped up their warm-ups. We're ready for the Bulldog battle to close the regular season. March on MGN is here. The playoffs start Monday, and it's time for these two backyard rivals to square off to see who picks up the final W of the regular season. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Byron Center.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
All right, time to rock and roll here from Byron Center. Let's meet your starters this evening for Coach Young in his second season for the Bulldogs. Slightly different lineup than the base lineup we have seen all season long. In the backcourt, the Bulldogs will start the 6-foot senior guard Tyson Mann alongside the 6-foot senior Quentin Hendrickson. Also in the backcourt, the Bulldogs start the senior guard Drew Hungerford up front. They'll have the 6'4" senior wing Logan Stockwell, and the 6'8" junior Cam Regnerus gets the start for the Bulldogs of Grandville. For the Bulldogs of Byron Center, head coach Joe Rodriguez, they will start their 5'10" junior guard Connor Ferguson alongside the 6'2" senior guard Austin Buckley and the 6' sophomore guard Isaac Lee. Up front, the 6'5" junior wing Ben Hegel draws into the starting lineup alongside the 6'3" junior center J.J. Brock, with their superstar Camden Karel out of the lineup with an ankle injury here this evening. Lights have been dimmed. We'll have the lineups for Byron Center in just a moment. Grandville wears their traveling maroon uniforms, numbers in gray, black and gray trimming down the side, and Grandville in script across the chest. For Grandville, for the Bulldogs of Byron, the final game of the regular season, and we are just about ready to go. Two terrific defensive teams, two very tough and physical teams, and two teams that are going into tough districts and are looking to make a good push down the stretch this season. The introduction of Ben Hegel, who averages 6 points and 3 rebounds per game. The 6'5" junior drawing into the lineup with Karel out. That is the main talking point of this contest. How will these two teams react? Who will take the lead? Regnerus and Mann been leading offensively, but the depth scoring has been there for the Bulldogs of Grandville, and for Byron Center, they will look to get their offensive attack turbocharged early on as well, even without their terrific sophomore big man Karel. Regnerus will step in against Hegel on the jump, give 2 or 3 inches to Cam Regnerus on this jump. Bulldogs of Grandville move left to right across the radio dial. Byron Center moves right to left. Regnerus tips it back for Tyson Mann. Hendrickson gets the initial touch over the timeline, and the Bulldogs go to work. Swung left wing on the skip to Stockwell. Defended by Connor Ferguson to the left elbow on Regnerus. Whips it right corner to Hendrickson. Drives around a defender. Feed into the lane for Regnerus. Picked straight off by Hegel, and the possession goes right to left over the timeline with Connor Ferguson. Swings to Hegel, left wing. Bouncing with the basketball top of the key. Hungerford defending him. Two-hand pass left wing for Lee. Whips it to the right side for Ferguson. Fouled across the floor by Hendrickson. Left elbow. Hegel fakes a handoff, working the pivot foot. Hegel now hands off to a curling Lee around the screen, top of the key, defended by Mann. Drives down the right side of the lane. Right-hand runner, good. And a foul on Tyson Mann will send the sophomore Isaac Lee to the stripe. Tyson, Coach Young don't love the foul call, but Lee the first down the board in this one. 2-0 Byron Center. On your scoreboard, obviously, Bulldogs signifies Byron Center. Grandville are the Grandville Bulldogs. 7:21 in the first. And Lee able to complete the three-point play as the 6' sophomore knocks that down. Byron Center brings some full-court pressure right here. Hungerford swings to Mann in front of the timeline. Looking to get over, hands off for Hungerford. Two-hand pass over the timeline to a jumping Hendrickson. He is reached on by Ferguson, top of the key, and fouled. One foul now on either team. 3-0 Byron Center, 7:12 in the first. Right side inbound in front of the Byron Center bench. It'll be Stockwell to throw in here for the Bulldogs. Gets it to Tyson Mann in front of the timeline. Bulldogs working out of a 2-3 swinging zone right here. Left elbow, Regnerus dumps for a cutting Hungerford. Tipped away from Hungerford, out of bounds. Off of the initial ruling was off Grandville. It will stay with the Bulldogs of Grandville now. The call will stay with them. Last touched out by Brock. Inbounded to Stockwell. Steps around a defender. Left wing. Launches a three off the back rim. No good. Rebound down to J.J. Brock. The senior going to run the floor to the left wing. He's stopped there by Tyson Mann. Handed off for Lee. Mann will now face him up defensively. To the free throw line to a cutting Ferguson. Turns his back left elbow on Hungerford. Hand off left wing for Lee. And kicked up top for J.J. Brock. Brock jabbing, defended by Hendrickson. Swung right wing for Austin Buckley, the senior with a touch for the first time. Back to Lee, swung left wing to Hegel. Hegel defended by Regnerus. Arms spread wide. Dribbles to the free throw line. Hand off top of the key to Ferguson. Fakes a shot left wing. Hands off right wing for Buckley. Buckley drives, floater, short, rebound, tipped all the way up top to Lee. Byron Center keeps the possession. 6.5 in the first. 3-0 Bulldogs of Byron Center. Lee hits a cutting Brock, and Brock lays it in with a right hand off the window. 5-0 Byron Center. Good start for those Bulldogs in this one. They go back to that 2-3 zone. Left wing, here's Stockwell. To the left elbow, Hungerford. Hungerford swings with 2 hands, right corner for Mann. Catch and shoot 3, rattles out. A whistle and a foul is called on the floor off the shot. It will be on Hegel, his first, second on Byron Center. 6:05 in the first, 5-0 is the BC lead. Baseline right, Hendrickson to throw in. Pounds the rock, looks, got a right corner, Tyson Mann. Quick trigger triple over top of Lee, misses it all. Rebound down to Hendrickson, up top for Hungerford. Hungerford starts the dribble, left corner for Stockwell. Stockwell down left block for Regnerus, turning the shoulder, kicks right corner with space. Tyson Mann 3, splash. And the Bulldogs on the board first, or for the first time, it's 5-3. Byron Center, 5:43 in the first. Buckley working with a left-hand dribble down the left side of the lane. Feeding for Lee over top of Mann left corner. Up top, the offense will get reset by J.J. Brock to the right wing with a 2-hand pass for Ferguson. Top of the key to a leaping Hegel. Hegel fakes a handoff for a curling Buckley. Gave it on instead to Ferguson. Backing and spinning into the lane. Reaching shot tipped, but a travel is called before the shot. Grandville takes back over. 5:22 in the first, 5-3. Byron Center again going to show a little bit of full court pressure in a 2-2-1 set. Hendrickson the carry for the Bulldogs. Left side to Hungerford. Back over to Hendrickson and to Mann over the timeline. Mann to Hendrickson right wing. Tyson Mann up top on the volleyball line, defended by Ferguson, reaching out on him. Bulldogs operating out of a 2-3 zone. Right corner of the Byron Center Bulldogs operating out of 2-3 zone. Hendrickson to the right elbow for Regnerus. Regnerus turns. Left wing, Stockwell. Catch and shoot 3 over top of Ferguson. Falls short off the front rim. Rebound down to Brock. Thrown over the timeline to a sprinting Lee. He'll settle it down left wing. Behind the back, no-look handoff for Hegel. Hegel across Buckley, top of the key. Looked at the basket. Step back, long 3 over top of Stockwell. Splashes it down. Tough shot for Austin Buckley. Makes it 8-3 Byron Center. 4.5 in the first. Hendrickson faces up against the zone. Right wing for Mann. Feeds to the free throw line. Hungerford. Dump pass. Regnerus goes up. Can't score the right. Touches one back that also is short. And Brock grabs the rebound off the second chance. Lead a run for Byron Center. Behind the back dribble. The sophomore drives. Reaches around Mann. Right hand shot falls short. Rebound Stockwell. He's going to run. Stockwell driving to the basket. Kicks right corner. Catch and shoot 3. Hungerford off the back rim. No. And rebound down to a leaping Ferguson. Granville fighting it from 3 early. Halfway through the first quarter. 8-3 Granville. Brock drives and is fouled on the floor by a leaning Hungerford. 4:03 in the first. 2 fouls now against either team in this first half of play. Ryder Haight checks in for the Bulldogs, as it will be Stockwell off that Hungerford foul taking a seat. Baseline right inbound. Connor Ferguson to throw it in. Guarded on the inbound here by Quentin Hendrickson. Tyson Mann wrapping up, tying his shoe. Now number 0, Maroon, ready to go. Ferguson looking for the inbound. Lobbing up top for a leaping Hegel. Hegel handoff for a curling Ferguson, top of the key. Back to the right side. Ferguson starting the dribble against Quentin Hendrickson in between the rings. Because screen set from Hegel goes left around it. Stops up top for Brock. Brock starting the dribble. Fakes a handoff for Lee. Gave it right elbow on to Hegel. Hands it off for a driving Brock. Right hand shot short off the front rim. Rebound down to Hendrickson and the Bulldogs. Behind the back dribble. Handoff right wing for Hungerford. Hungerford stops top of the key, feeds left block for Regnerus. Spins, left-hand shot, off the window, good. Good work from Cam Regnerus. Grandville within 3, 8-5 Byron Center with 3:25 in the first. Hegel bounces down the right side of the lane, hand off top of the key for Lee. Jump pass back to Hegel. Lost it, regathers, defended by Regnerus. A travel is called before the shot. Grandville takes back over again, 3:16 in the first, 8-5. And again, Byron Center will bring a little bit of three-quarter court, 2-2-1 pressure here. Quentin Hendrickson left to right, throws over the timeline to Tyson Mann right up the middle of the floor. Mann out of a trap, turning, poked and stolen from behind by Buckley. Thrown behind the defense. J.J. Brock elevates and jams with 2 hands. 10-5 Byron Center. Emphatically, the junior throws it down. Ryder Haight beating the pressure over the timeline. Swings left wing for Hendrickson. Looked at the 3, steps around a defender. No look pass. Regnerus left block. Hook shot, rattles home and goes. 4 points for Cam Regnerus. 10-7 Byron Center with 2:43 in the first. Connor Ferguson over the timeline. Skips left elbow for Hegel. Up top for Brock, the big man who just had the jam with 2 hands. To the free throw line, Ferguson turns his back on Hendrickson. Hand off with an underhand feed, top of the key to Buckley. Buckley with an earlier triple, backs it out onto the Byron Center logo, center floor. Fires the right side, Ferguson, left wing Hegel with 2:20. Hegel drives, cut off free throw line. Right corner, catch and shoot 3. Brock, splash. Big start for J.J. Brock. He has 7, knocks down the triple after the earlier dunk. It's 13-7 Byron Center with 2:08 in the first. Drew Hungerford up top for Quentin Hendrickson. Hendrickson runs down the lane, lobs, Regnerus jams it down for the alley-oop. Regnerus with 6, and a big answer from the Bulldogs, 13-9 with 1:58 in the first. Hackman will check in for Hungerford. Drew Thomas also comes in for J.J. Brock right here for the first time. Jams all around, one for Regnerus off the alley-oop. The earlier one for Byron Center from Brock. Connor Ferguson, junior guard, to run the offense for Byron Center. Throws right wing to Buckley, the senior. Bangs around a screen, top of the key, elevates free throw line and rattles one down over top of Ryder Haight. Buckley now with 5, 15-9 Byron Center. Near side, going left to right, Haight throws all the way far side over the timeline to Heckman. Onto the Byron Center logo for Hendrickson, who slowly starts left side. Hendrickson right side for man. Byron Center working out of the zone. Top of the key, Regnerus. Left side, Hendrickson skips short corner. Heckman on to Regnerus, lost the handle, stolen by Ferguson. 1:17 in the first, 15-9 Byron Center. Hegel to the free throw line. Fakes the handoff for Buckley, backs it out behind the arc, now throws just to his right side to Ferguson. Ferguson spins into the short corner, stops right side. Reaching pass onto a cutting Thomas to the basket, rejected. Rebound down to Hendrickson and the Bulldogs of Grandville. Hendrickson backs it out top of the key, swings man right side with 53 in the first, 15-9 Byron Center. Left corner, Hendrickson hits Regnerus. Left block, turns, gave a shoulder fake, right hand hook strong, rebound down to Buckley. 42 seconds in the first. Ferguson with it for the Bulldogs, getting a call in from Coach Rodriguez here with 37. Isaac Lee with it. 3 points early for the sophomore. Back to a driving Ferguson to the rack, right hand floater, good and close. Ferguson on the board, and a good start continues for Byron Center. They lead at 17-9 inside the final 20 seconds of the first. Man will face up against this 2-3 zone. Reaching skip pass for Haight right wing, down short right corner. Heckman, quick catch and shoot jumper. Off the connector, no. Leaping rebound, man in the lane. Up top, catch and shoot 3. Quentin Hendrickson, splash! Hendrickson knocks down the 3. The Bulldogs of Grandville stop the bleeding, 5-point game. Buckley, right side of the floor. Step back 3 at the buzzer, misses it all. That'll do it for the first. Byron Center by 5 in a high-flying first quarter. 17-12 after 1. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back here from Byron Center.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
And welcome back to Byron Center. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Rolling solo for the rest of this week and the next as well before CT will be back and rejoining me for regional week as well as girls' week of the championship and the Breslin Center. 17-12 Byron Center Bulldogs over the Grandville Bulldogs after the first quarter of play in this one. Regnerus with 6 leads the Bulldogs. Brock with 7. He has it right block, leads Byron Center. Spins, fadeaway over top of Regnerus is strong. Rebound down to Ryder Haight. 7:40 in the second. Tyson Mann left to right has not left the floor yet. Will run the Bulldog offense. Colin Hybor has it right wing. He has checked in for the Bulldogs for the first time. To Hendrickson left wing. Hendrickson drives down the lane. Jump stop. Leaner foul called. They will get the foul on the floor, third foul on the team against Byron Center, and that foul is on Buckley. That is his first. 7.5 to go, second quarter, 17-12 Byron Center. Baseline right inbound, Tyson Mann to throw it in. Tyson with an earlier triple, his lone scoring in this one. Mann, lob short right corner for Regnerus. Handoff for Tyson right corner. He'll dribble to the right wing with it, trapped up against the zone. Jump pass, poked and stolen away by Trey Sluter, who's out there for the first time. Slater, who's out there for the first time, and he'll throw it right side over the timeline to Buckley. Buckley up top for Brock. Brock, handoff in front of the timeline to Ferguson. Ferguson drives, handoff, left block, Thomas. Left-hand shot short, grabs his own rebound, put back over top of Mann, no good. And then on the fight for the rebound, Thomas goes over top of Tyson Mann, and that will be foul 4 on Byron Center. Logan Stockwell checks back in for the Bulldogs. Tyson Mann will get a break. That's foul 1 on Drew Thomas. 17-12 Byron Center, 7:04 in the second. Quentin Hendrickson to run the Grandville offense right now. Hybor gets it right wing, throws free throw line to leaping Stockwell. Back right side to Hybor, the sophomore across the floor. Swung left corner, Hendrickson got it on to his left side to Stockwell. Catch and shoot 3, off the front rim, no. He's fighting a little bit earlier on in this one, and Byron Center's got it here with Ferguson. 6:40 to go in the second. They lead by 5. Hand off, Austin Buckley, top of the key. Crouch defending him here is Ryder Haight, keeping the arms spread wide defensively, backing him to the left side here. Buckley crossing over, bounces around to Brock, screen to the top of the key. Buckley to the free throw line, hand off for Brock, the big guy, stutters, looks at the basket, hands off right wing for Ferguson. Ferguson drives down the left side, jump past Brock, right block, shot over top of Regnerus, strong, tough rebound through contact is taken by Hendrickson. He is then run into by J.J. Brock, and that will be foul 5 on Byron Center, and the first on Brock this half. 6:15 in the second, 17-12 Byron Center. Bulldogs traveling maroon uniforms go left to right across your radio dial. Byron Center in the home whites tonight. Hendrickson, the inbound feed from Stockwell, will start it up. Stockwell out there along with Hendrickson, as we mentioned. Hybor, Regnerus, Ryder Haight for the Bulldogs. Ferguson defends Hybor. Stockwell, free throw line, passes down short left corner for Regnerus. Some miscommunication goes off the fingertips of Regnerus, just out of his reach, and Byron Center takes back over. Ferguson, the inbound from Drew Thomas. Brock is out there, Slater is out there, Buckley is also out there for Coach Rodriguez's team. Left elbow, J.J. Brock, defended by Cam Regnerus. Jabs, pull-up shot, free throw line, short, rebound down to Hybor. Hybor trapped and stolen away by Ferguson. Byron Center keeps it in the front court. Hand off Buckley, walks into a triple, splash. 8 points for Austin Buckley. Byron Center back up 8, 5.5 in the second. BC brings out the swinging 2-3 zone. Free throw line, Regnerus tips away to the left corner for Stockwell. Stockwell ran into Thomas and shuffled the feet and traveled. Hegel and Hungerford check in for their respective sides. 20-12 Byron Center with 5:26 in the second. Isaac Lee up the middle of the floor, the sophomore back out there for Byron Center. Around a screen down the left side, jump pass left wing for Slater. Slater jabs, handoff left corner for Lee. Lee defended by Hendrickson to the left wing, in between the rings to Brock, the big guy. Trying to get some isolation, now throws left side to Slater. Crowding him defensively will be Hybor. Top of the key for Hegel. Hegel right wing for Brock. Brock defended by Hungerford, kicks up top, Slater. Slater, left wing on to Hegel, defended by Cam Regnerus, arms spread wide, up top for Brock again. Brock drives on Hungerford, leaner, over top of a late arriving Regnerus is good. J.J. Brock with 9, Byron Center leads by 10, and they bring some three-quarter court pressure. Hungerford up the right side of the floor, beats it. Hungerford, skip pass, Regnerus against a pair of defenders, elevates and nicely lays it in with two hands. 22-14. Tyson Mann is up from the bench. Let's check in here for Grandville. Brock loosely defended by Hungerford, right side for Lee. 4:19 in the second. 22-14 Byron Center. Lee will back it out in front of the timeline, loosely watching him Hendrickson. Hendrickson crowd starts the 5-second clock. Roughing up Lee, throws left side for Hegel. Hegel driving on Regnerus, kicks for Slider right corner. Slider jabbing around a screen, hand off top of the key for Brock, and Brock will back it out in between the rings. Byron Center slowing down their offense the last couple of possessions. Curling hand off Lee, back onto Brock, tries to jam over top of Regnerus, rejected by the rim, rebound out of bounds, and it is Grandville basketball. Tyson Mann will check in here for Colin Hybor. Michael Bradshaw, the junior guard, in for the first time for Byron Center right now as well. 3:47 in the second, 22-14 BC over Grandville. Byron Center sets up the 2-2-1 three-quarter-court trap. Hungerford near side to Haight, back to Hungerford up the middle of the floor. With a right-hand dribble, gets over the timeline. Nearly stripped, nice reaching pass onto Mann. Mann gets away from the defender, drives to the basket, and lays it in with a nice touch off the window. 22-16, 5 points for Tyson Mann, fresh back on the floor. 3.5 to go second quarter. Brad over top of Regnerus, off the front rim, it hung, would not fall, and the rebound is down to Tyson Mann and the Bulldogs. Left to right over the timeline. Mann up the middle of the floor, Euros into the lane, lost the handle, stolen by a sprinting Bradshaw. Bradshaw lobbing for Brock, handoff with a touch to a pass in the corner for Slider, unable to hang on to it, also shuffled the feet at the same time. Travel is called, Grandville takes back over. 3 minutes exactly to go, second quarter, 22-16. Byron Center leads Grandville. Drew Thomas checks in for J.J. Brock. Byron Center works the 2-2-1 trap in the three-quarter court again. Near side left to right, Hungerford skips far side. Hendrickson over the timeline to Mann up the middle of the floor. To the left block for Regnerus. Turns the back, working on Hegel. Left-hand hook shot is good. Cam Regnerus into double digit. Regnerus has liked that matchup against Hegel offensively, going to work in it right there. Top of the key, Lee defended by Mann around a screen. Now Hungerford picks him up left wing. Up top for Hegel. Jabs. Drives down the right side. Bumping shoulders with Regnerus. Right-hand hook shot, no good. Tyson Mann grabs the rebound. He was pushed down to the floor. A travel is called as he rolls on the floor, and Byron Center will keep it. Tyson not overly thrilled with the call. It will stay Byron Center's basketball, though, despite the tough rebound from Tyson Mann. 2:23 in the second. Right corner inbound to Bradshaw. Kicks up top for Hegel. The 6'5 junior wing, loosely watched here by Regnerus, who crowds him in front of the timeline. 2:14 in the first half. 4-point lead for Byron Center. Hegel drives. Leaning shot around Regnerus is good. Hegel on the score sheet with a left-hand finish, 24-18. Haight passes to Hendrickson, is tipped up the floor. Tic-tac-toe over the timeline to a sprinting Hungerford. Hungerford drives. Right-hand push shot, good, and a foul. Drew Hungerford off the nice feed. Going to work, scores with the right, and a foul. That is foul 2 on Drew Thomas. That is the 6th on Byron Center. Grandville can get back within a score right here with Drew Hungerford at the line. The senior who drew into the starting lineup tonight. And down, 24-21 Byron Center, just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Grandville breaking out a 2-3 zone of their own. Right side, Lee shoots over top of it. No good. Rebound Regnerus. So Grandville goes to the zone. Working more man-to-man, so the teams have switched their earlier roles. Mann drives, whips the hands free and scores. What a finish at the rack for Tyson Mann, and Grandville within one. The Bulldogs upping the pressure of the zone to the free throw line. Out of a trap, Hegel swings right side. Catch and shoot three. Lee missed it all off the backboard, but a long rebound to the free throw line came on to Bradshaw. Kicks up top just in front of the timeline. No matchup sometimes as they shade Haight over to that side of the floor. Now he'll run back to place as the Bulldogs swing it back across. Left corner to Ferguson, defended by Haight. In between the rings up top for Hegel. 49 seconds in the second. Grandville operating out of the matchup 2-3 zone. Right side on to Bradshaw. Bradshaw back left side for Ferguson. Ryder Haight crowding him defensively. Backs it in front of the timeline. Throws up top onto the Byron. Off to the top of the key to Lee. Back right side to Bradshaw. He'll fire a deep, deep three. Off the back rim, no good with 21 seconds. Man with it. Grandville can take the lead on this final possession. The call in from Coach Young is to hold for the final shot. 13 seconds and less. Tyson Mann left wing. Byron Center operating man-to-man defensively right here with 9. Mann in front of the timeline left side. Gets a screen from Regnerus. Tyson, pull up three. Top of the key. No good. Front rim. Rebound down to Hegel with 2. Hegel, three-quarter court shot at the buzzer. Off the right side of the backboard. No good. And that will take us to halftime. 23. A hotly contested first half in this one, and Grandville able to rally back within one after being down double digits at one point in that first half of play. Welcome inside to the Centennial Securities halftime show here from Byron Center. Man, what a manic game that was. Not too much defense in the first half. A lot of great shot making that was shown between two terrific defensive teams. The second quarter, the defense came up. In particular, interesting to see the adjustments each coach made. Byron Center started in a 2-3 zone. They went to man-to-man. Granville started in man-to-man. They don't go zone very often. The Bulldogs started operating out of that kind of matchup, switching high-pressure, trapping 2-3 zone, and it was pretty effective as they forced some bad shots for Byron Center down the stretch, and that's a big part of what was able to get Grandville back on the comeback trail. Bulldogs 24, Bulldogs 23. Byron Center leads Grandville at the half. A lot more to get to here on the Bates Agency or the Centennial Securities halftime show. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Welcome back to the Centennial Securities halftime show. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It is March on MGN. Not quite playoffs yet on the boys' side at least, but we are into the month of March, which is of course about as good as it gets, especially in high school sports. 24-23, Byron Center leads Grandville at the half. Let's run through your scoring recap at the break. Tyson Mann leading Tyson Mann with 7 points for Grandville. The Bulldogs' leading scorer is Cam Regnerus with 10. Quentin Hendrickson has 3. Andrew Hungerford has 3. A short scoring tally for the Bulldogs in this one, as it was Regnerus and Mann combining for 17 of their 23 points, throwing those couple other threes that they knocked down, and that's where you get the Bulldog scoring. For Byron Center, Connor Ferguson had 2. Austin Buckley had 8. Isaac Lee, the sophomore, with 3. Ben Hegel had 2. They were led in scoring by J.J. Brock, their junior center, who had 9. Of course, Camden Karel, the terrific sophomore big man, the Division I prospect. He's visited Purdue. He's visited Michigan, among many others, this season already. Out tonight, kind of lower leg ankle injury, it sounds like, Tuesday for Karel. And final game of the regular season, of course, you're gonna take it a little bit easy and take it a little bit safe in that regard, of course, in the final game of the year. So Karel out, but Coach Rodriguez's team has been very high energy. They haven't missed much of a beat. Really, the main talking point in this game were the defensive adjustments that each team made. Talked about it on the first part of the halftime show. Grandville open in their traditional man-to-man defense. Byron Center open in more of a 2-3 look, and they also have been spreading the floor with a 2-2-1 full-court trap. But as we got down the stretch, Byron Center started going more man-to-man as Grandville was able to find some buckets, and Grandville got some stops out of the man-to-man, but Coach Young making the rare switch to a 2-3 matchup zone of his own. That was a very aggressive zone as well. They forced some bad shots. They got some steals out of that, and that was a big part of what helped Grandville race what was a 10-point deficit at one point in time down to 1, and they even had a shot to try to take the lead at the end of the first half. So all of that lining up for a very, very interesting second half of play. We're going to step aside one more time. Be right back here on the Centennial Securities Halftime Show.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. My car! And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
And welcome back courtside here on the Centennial Securities Halftime Show, 24-23. Byron Center leading Grandville at the half. Nate Dreyer with you here tonight as we jumpstart and tip off our March on MGN coverage. Grandville, Byron Center both back out warming up for this second half, and we are just about ready to go. The big men leading the way offensively. J.J. Brock with 9 for Byron Center. Cam Regnerus with 10 for Grandville. Keys to the second half. What are these two coaching staffs looking at the most? Well, for Grandville, first and foremost, getting out of a little bit of a shooting funk early on. A lot of even open but missed shots for Grandville, especially when Byron Center was still sticking with their zone. Ultimately, the Bulldogs able to make a couple shots down the stretch, what helped close them in a little bit. Tyson Mann, Cam Regnerus offensively really, really going to work, especially the moments where Brock has been on the bench. He's been going one-on-one with Hegel, and it's where you're seeing the Camden Karel being missed tonight for Byron Center when Regnerus has got going. For Grandville defensively, I think mixing in that matchup zone, especially playoff time, good chance to work on it, a very critical part of what they have been able to do, what they will look to continue to do tonight. For Byron Center, it's the same thing. They mix up their defense. They create a little bit of havoc with their 2-2-1 full court trap or three-quarter court trap. Defensively, they've been keeping it mixed up. And I think J.J. Brock, he's an athletic big man, a 6'3" junior. They've done a lot of good work through him. Austin Buckley has knocked down some shots. That's where I think their offense is going to focus. If Grandville's focused on Mann and Regnerus offensively, you're looking at Brock and you're looking at Buckley playing a similar role offensively for Byron Center. Both teams wrapping up their warm-ups, ready to go with the second half. And a reminder that the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports, and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Ready to go, second half. Grandville, Byron Center, 24-23. BC leads Grandville. Bulldogs of Grandville traveling maroon uniforms. Same lineup that opened the game for them will open up the second half. Hungerford, Mann, and Hendrickson in the backcourt. Stockwell on the wing, and Regnerus up in the middle. Byron Center brings their same lineup as well. Brock, Lee, Buckley, Ferguson, and Hegel on the start. Byron Center in the home whites with orange numbers. The Bulldogs right to left across your radio dial. The Bulldogs of Grandville. It has already been a long night, going to continue to be a long night. The Grandville side opens with this one. Hendrickson takes it up the middle of the floor. The 2-3 zone is on. He throws a pass left side that is deemed to have been tipped out of bounds by Byron Center, and it will stay with Grandville as that one deflected right into the face of Coach Wade on the Grandville bench. Coach Rodriguez out arguing his point right now along with a couple of the officials. It will stay with Grandville as Hungerford throws in left side. Up top for Hendrickson. The Bulldogs now will start their offense. 2-3 zone for Byron Center. Skip pass left side for Tyson Mann. Mann reaching free throw line. Hungerford right side all alone. Hendrickson 3. Good. Quentin Hendrickson knocks down another triple. He has 6, and Grandville has their first lead, 26-24. Grandville goes back to their traditional physical man-to-man defense as Ferguson faces up right wing against Hendrickson. Lobs right elbow to Hegel. All the way across, left elbow to Brock. Jab, spins on Regnerus. Two-hand shot blocked by Cam Regnerus. Rebound down to Stockwell. He's going to run over the timeline. Stopped by Ferguson as he got there. Ferguson reaches and steals it away as he's able to get the clean poke and kicks it left corner for Lee. Lee drives baseline. Jump pass stolen straight away by Hendrickson on an errant feed from the sophomore. Hendrickson left wing defended by Brock. Swings right corner. Stockwell launches a triple. Off the connector, no good, and a high leaping rebound down to J.J. Brock. 6:55 in the third, 26-24. Grandville man-to-man defense, right corner for Buckley. Buckley curling to the free throw line, drives in the lane, leaner over top of Regnerus is good, and a foul. Tough one for Buckley. He's in the double digits. That's foul 2 on Stockwell. He will take a seat as Ryder Haight will come in his place. So Buckley looking for the three-point play as we're knotted at 26. Buckley, number 4 in white, senior 6'2" guard with 10. The leading scorer now for Byron Center will look to give the BC Bulldogs the lead back here, shooting to the basket to the right of the broadcast position here courtside. Free throws up and good. Buckley with 11 points. Byron Center with a 27-26 lead. BC bringing the three-quarter court trap. Near side, right to left over the timeline. Here's Haight. Haight down on the floor, able to whip a pass right wing for Hungerford. Swung back to Haight left wing. Haight drives, jump pass, poked and stolen away by Ferguson. Ferguson skips on the lead behind the defense. Right-hand layup is good. Turnover into points. 5 points now for the sophomore Lee. 29-26 Byron Center. Man against the trap. Goes behind him to Hendrickson. Over the timeline to Mann. And Mann is grabbed and fouled at center floor. First foul of the half on Byron Center. That's foul 2 on Austin Buckley. Right to left, near side. It'll be Hungerford throwing in here for the Bulldogs. 6:19 in the third, 29-26. Byron Center 2-3 zone. Hendrickson skips with 2 hands, left wing for Mann. Mann curls to the free throw line. Drives, jump pass, right corner for Hendrickson. Stares at the basket, now drives, kicks right side on a Mann. Mann launches a 3, tipped away. Rebound secured by Hendrickson. Gave it on to Regnerus. Regnerus is fouled on the floor by J.J. Brock. That'll be the second foul of the half on Byron Center. 6:02 in the third, 29-26 BC. That is foul 2 on Brock. Baseline right inbound. Hendrickson to throw in here in the traveling maroon uniforms for the Bulldogs. 6:02 in the third. Lobs right corner for Regnerus. Swung left wing to Haight. Now on to Mann. Mann to the left corner for Hendrickson. Hendrickson against Brock. Now Mann. Byron Center working more man-to-man, but they'll show some pressure up top here out of more of a matchup 2-3 zone. Left side on to Hendrickson with space. Steps into a 3. Rattles off the right side, no good. Rebound to Tyson Mann. Pull-up shot, free throw line. Rattles out. He had space but can't hit it. And Ferguson rips the rebound away from Ryder Haight and goes running over the timeline. Ferguson stops free throw line, hands off for Hegel, readjusts midair, reverse layup short, rebound down to Hendrickson, right to left, he'll run with it with 5.5 in the third. 29-26 Byron Center. Haight left corner, dribbles to the left wing with it, kicks across right wing to Mann, jumping the passing lane. Ferguson nearly took it away. Now Mann has his pass to the corner, poked and stolen by Lee. On for Ferguson. Ferguson lobs a two-hand alley-oop jam for Brock is no good as he lost the handle on it. The Bulldogs run the other way, and they'll go to an alley-oop of their own as Hendrickson lobs for Regnerus, and Regnerus finishes. He has 12. Grandville back within 1. A missed alley-oop on one end. Regnerus converts on the other end. Buckley, right corner for Brock with space, launches a three into the lead. Left wing Hendrickson, foul off the ball. They will get Hegel grabbing Cam Regnerus. That is foul 3 of the half on Byron Center. And that is foul 2 on Hegel. Baseline left. Staying on the O in Byron Center. It'll be Hendrickson to throw in. Gets it left wing for Mann with space, launches a three. Off the back rim, no. Rebound to a leaping Connor Ferguson. Mann struggling in the second half offensively. Buckley, left wing, walks into the lane, right-hand floater, hangs on the connector and falls. Grandville coaching staff, a very angry Coach Young, wanted a travel call. Tyson Mann up the middle of the floor. Jump stop, right. Right wing J.J. Brock will face up here against Cam Regnerus, directing some traffic. Handoff for Lee, right wing. Lee, jump pass, right corner Brock, up fake, feeds it into the paint for Hegel, poked out of bounds from behind. It last tipped off of Hegel, and Grandville will take over. 3:59 in the third. Brock will take a seat as Byron Center brings Drew Thomas on. 3:59 in the third, 31-30 Byron Center. BC brings out their 2-2-1 three-quarter court trap they've been using pretty much all game long after the full court inbounds. Hendrickson, right side, Hungerford, back to Hendrickson, throws over the timeline. Mann drives at the middle of the floor, whips the hands free. Right-hand layup is good. Mann with 11, Grandville back on top. What a finish by Tyson. 3:44 in the third. Connor Ferguson, Hendrickson curls around, and a foul is called as Mann grabbed onto a piece of Ferguson. Second foul of the half on the Bulldogs of Grandville. That is foul 2 on Tyson Mann as well. He will stay out there. Baseline right inbound for Ferguson and Byron Center. 5'10 junior Ferguson with 2 points in this one. Give it up top to Hegel. Hegel stutters, pull-up shot, free throw line, splashes that one down. Hegel with 4 in Byron Center back on top, 33-32. Back and forth we go in the third quarter. Hendrickson over the timeline, alternating hands with the dribble to the right wing. Byron Center the 2-3 zone, left side for Mann on a skip. To the free throw line, Hungerford. Hungerford reaching pass, Haight is out of his grasp and out of bounds as Hungerford was trying to whip it to the corner, reaching around a defender. Out of bounds, Byron Center takes over with 3:11 in the third. 33-32, a 1-point lead for the home side. Ferguson left wing, loosely watched here by Hendrickson. Right side. Drew Thomas with it. Thomas to the corner. Handoff right wing for Buckley. Buckley driving against a pair of Bulldogs. Swings right side to Hegel. Jabs, spins into the lane. Handoff top of the key to Buckley. Swung left side to Ferguson, who will reset the offense. Ferguson around a Hegel screen. Drives down the right side, and a foul is called on the floor. 3 fouls now on either team in this half. 2:40 to go in the third. 33-32 Byron Center. That foul is on Hendrickson. That is his first. Ferguson to throw in. Baseline right. Lobs for Hegel right wing. Defended here by Cam Regnerus. Overhead two-hand. Hendrickson to run with it. Left wing Hendrickson. Curls around a screen. Stops right elbow. Handoff for Hungerford. Hungerford drives free throw line. Cuts it to a wide open Regnerus, who skies and jams again. Grandville back on top. Timeout from Coach Young. 34-33 Grandville. We will be right back.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-5555 3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
And welcome back to Byron Center. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio 34-33, Grandville over Byron Center. Have you heard the exciting news that Michigan Basketball Academy and Storm Basketball have joined forces to bring you the best basketball experience in West Michigan? Tryouts will be held March 12th. For more information, visit MichiganBasketballAcademy.com. Also, it's not too late to apply for admission at Ferris State University if you have to make sure you sign up for orientation. Ferris State also offers summer camps in all sports. Check them out online at ferris.edu. And lastly, Golf Emporium has a surplus of golf bags. Anyone who mentions Michigan Sports Radio will receive $35 off any golf bag. I don't know if I need a new golf bag, but that sounds like a pretty good deal. I may actually have to check that out myself. 2:15 to go, third quarter, 34-33. Grandville leads Byron Center. The Bulldogs of Byron Center with it in the right wing. Here is Lee throwing to the right corner, beg your pardon, to Buckley. Buckley driving on Ryder. Hey, a foul is on Haight. Fourth of the team on Grandville. 3 on Byron Center right now, and the first on Ryder Haight. It'll be Ferguson, right corner to inbound here along the baseline. Swings it right elbow to a leaping Hegel. Up top to Thomas. Drive, swatted by Regnerus, but a foul. Block was clean, but the foul was down on the floor against the driving Thomas as he got taken out from underneath. Oh, actually, I lied. The foul is going to be on Cam Regnerus. So they get the first foul on Regnerus. I thought the block was clean, but the foul was underneath on one of the guards on Thomas. But the foul called on Regnerus on the block. 5th on the team, his first. Left-hand free throw, up and too strong for Drew Thomas. One more coming up for the 6'4 senior wing here at the line. 2 dribbles, steadies. Left-hand free throw in front of the face. Motion is good for Thomas. We are tied at 34 with 2 minutes exactly to go in the third. Grandville working against the three-quarter court trap. Haight to Hendrickson. Throws over the timeline to Hungerford right side. Back in front of the timeline on the BC logo to Hendrickson. 2-3 zone, closes it against him. Throws left side to Tyson Mann. Mann drives, whips the hands free. Right-hand layup is good. Tyson taking some of that aggressiveness he had Tuesday night against Thornapple Kellogg, putting it back to work. Grandville leading by 2, 36-34. Minute 35 in the third. Free throw on Hegel, hand off to Lee. The sophomore whips the hands free. 2-hand finish off the glass, no good. Rebound to Hungerford. He'll run over the timeline. Skips at Regnerus, spins left block, elevates, right hand hook shot is good. 16 for Regnerus. Grandville leads by 4 with 1:16 in the third. Right wing, Austin Buckley will slow it down to the top of the key around a screen. Buckley, pull-up shot, free throw line, good. That's a tough one. A pair of defenders hanging on him. Buckley has 15. Byron Center back within 2, 38-34. Final minute of the third. Byron Center goes back man-to-man defensively. Handoff for Tyson Mann, walks into Ferguson. He'll back it out. Ferguson reaches, tries to steal it away. On the floor, Mann pokes it back ahead. Lee takes it, throws it behind the defense to Buckley. Buckley elevates and scores. Turnover into points. We're tied at 38. Connor Ferguson continuing to wreak havoc with the reaches right now. And will a poke and eventually get a delayed steal on that one. 33 seconds to go. Now this time a pass to the left side is poked into the scorer's table by Buckley, and Grandville will keep it. J.J. Brock comes in for Ben Hegel. 31.1 in the third. Drew Hungerford to throw in. Left side just in front of the timeline, in front of the scorer's table. Hungerford with Buckley watching, lobs up top for Tyson Mann. He'll swing to his right side for Quentin Hendrickson. Faced up defensively here by Lee. Handoff for Tyson Mann, who curls top of the key. Mann will back it out, gets picked up defensively by Lee. Mann, handoff left wing Hendrickson. 18 seconds to go. Hendrickson stutters down the right side. Exit pass right wing for Regnerus with 13. Up fake. Drive. Regnerus. Euro. Leaner. Left hand shot strong but a foul. They got the leaning and reaching J.J. Brock on the shooting foul. 38-38 with 10.9 in the third. 2 at the line for Regnerus. That foul actually is going to be called on Connor Ferguson on a reach on the contact. There are a couple Bulldogs in there on it. First free throw is good for Regnerus. He has 17. That's 2 fouls on Ferguson. Landon Terry checks in for the first time for Grandville here. One more at the line for Cam Regnerus. The Bulldogs up 1. A timeout, though, first from Coach Rodriguez and Byron Center. 10.9 in the third, 39-38. And more gifts got a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Grandville. All right, one more coming up at the line for Cam Regnerus. He leads all scores, or actually I should say is tied with Austin Buckley for the lead of all scores with 17. He can become the leading scorer in this game. Tyson Mann with 13 for Grandville. J.J. Brock with 9, the second leading scorers for their respective teams. Lanky number 12 in maroon will go back to the line one more time. What a big game again for Regnerus. He had the 24 against Rockford, a solid 13 against Thornapple Kellogg, and a little bit lower minutes on senior night than he would normally see. Straddles the line, feet even. Right-hand free throw, got them both. 18 for Cam Regnerus, and Grandville leads 40-38. Final 10 seconds. Ferguson up the right side of the floor. Ferguson drives, whip pass, poked out of bounds by Ryder Haight with 4.8. Along the baseline right underneath the offensive hoop. It will be a baseline right inbound coming up for Connor Ferguson. Grandville by 2. Byron Center to throw in with just under 5 seconds. Ferguson gets the lead. Poked and stolen by Mann. He regathers at the buzzer. That'll do it for the third. Grandville has come from behind and taken the lead at the end of 3. 40-38 Grandville. We will be right back.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers.
For the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back to Byron Center. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Final frame is just about underway. 40-38, Grandville leads Byron Center. Byron Center left to right, home white jerseys, open against the maroon uniforms of the traveling Bulldogs of Grandville. Thrown a right wing here to Buckley. Drives and a foul on the floor against Ryder Haight on the grab. 7:48 in the fourth. That will be the 6th-team foul on the Bulldogs. So after this, Byron Center will be shooting free throws. Baseline right inbound here for Connor Ferguson. Motion starts. Ferguson looks, no-look feed on the lead. Left hand, Haight near side. Back to Hendrickson over the timeline to Mann. Mann skips Regnerus. Pressure coming. Spins, right-hand shot. Blocked and fouled. Let's see if the foul is going to be on Koiker or if it's going to be on Brock right here. As he was grabbed, 2 at the line coming up. That 5th foul actually is going to be on Austin Buckley, his 3rd. Buckley also was in the range. He got the grab from underneath, so Regnerus will go to the line for 2 right here, trying to put the Bulldogs back on top. First one rattles out for Cam. Hegel checks in for Koiker. One more for Cam Regnerus, try to put the Bulldogs back on top. Maroon uniforms, maroon short sleeves underneath the jersey. Missed the second free throw short, 0 for 2 at the line right there. Byron Center takes it back with a chance to regain the lead right here, now tied at 40. 7:25 in the fourth. Grandville back to man-to-man here defensively. High lob pass right wing for Hegel. Hegel up top for Brock. Watched here with the arms spread wide from Cam Regnerus to the right elbow for Ferguson. Ferguson lobs down right block. Hegel turns the back. Right hand shot blocked by Regnerus, and Regnerus jumps to settle down the rebound. Hendrickson up the near side of the floor right to left. Hendrickson bounces around a screen, top of the key. He'll back it out to the Byron Center logo at center floor. 6:58 in the fourth, tied at 40. Hendrickson's two-hand skip feed left wing for Mann. Lobs one free throw line. Regnerus up top. Hendrickson swings right corner with space. 3. Ryder Haight misses everything short, and the rebound is down to Byron Center and a running J.J. Brock. Brock spins into the lane. Leaner blocked, but a travel. He shuffled the feet before the shot, and it will go back Grandville's way. 6:42 in the fourth. We're tied at 40, and a really good one in the Bulldog battle here tonight. Closing the regular season in style. Hendrickson across the floor right side. Up top for Hungerford. Poked and stolen on the high pass to Ferguson. Ferguson outlets it onto Brock. Brock elevates and tomahawks one down hard with the right hand and emphatically puts Byron Center back on top. It's been a dunk party at BC tonight between Brock and Regnerus. Ryder Haight up top for the Bulldogs. Drives, jump stop, pull up shot, good. Ryder Haight with an answer. We're tied back at 42. 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Ferguson, handoff for curling Buckley. He'll back it out, defended by Haight here. Arms spread wide, crouched down. Haight is watching him. Throwing two hands left side to Lee. Tyson Mann the defense on the sophomore. Lee, down the left side of the floor, kicks left wing for Brock. Brock, up top for Heagle, swung right wing for Ferguson. Ferguson to the right corner for Buckley. Buckley launches a three over top of Haight. Off the back rim, no. Rebound down to Hungerford and the Bulldogs. 5.5 to go, fourth quarter. Picks up the dribble, throws all the way across. Hendrickson, right corner Haight, lobs right block to Regnerus. Up top with space, three, Hendrickson. Off the connector, no good, and a race to the rebound is won by Austin Buckley. Grandville sets up the man-to-man half-court defense as Ferguson slows it down over the timeline. 5:09 to go, fourth quarter. We're tied at 42. Left side to Lee, the sophomore. Defended loosely by Tyson Mann. Left corner for Buckley. Buckley lost the handle, last touched out of bounds by Ryder Haight, who was poking it on him defensively. Left corner, it will be Brock to throw in here for Byron Center. Brock up top for Ferguson. Bulldog coaching staff wanted to push off there on Ferguson against Hendrickson. To the top of the key, Ferguson. Behind the back dribble, reaching on him. Top of the key defensively is Hendrickson. To the right wing for Lee. Lee backing right corner, puts the hands above the head, picks up the dribble, lobs it for Ferguson. Ferguson, deep right wing, will reset the offense. 4:40 in the fourth, tied at 42. Ferguson looks right, looks left, now starts to dribble. Down the right side, lobbing one for Heagle, through his hands, stolen away by Ryder Haight. Haight up top for Hungerford. Hungerford, handoff man, top of the key. It was poked, but gets to Tyson. Tyson with 18, points in this one, and Coach Young calls for and gets a timeout. 4:24 in the fourth, tied at 42. We continue to work on a classic right here to close the regular season at Byron Center. Centennial Securities is a community service-focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. Check out Centennial Securities online at centennialsec.com. My goodness, what a game this has been. First off with these two teams, I mean, obviously with Karel out, that kind of made a lot of people wonder what that post-bat would look like. Well, ultimately, how about J.J. Brock in this one with the couple of jams he's had, that last tomahawk in particular? You're going to see plenty of highlights of that thrown around. Cam Regnerus with 3 dunks of his own. This has been an up-tempo, up-and-down, high-energy game. Both of these teams are certainly working their way into playoff shape here tonight with a sort of performance that they have each put up, and it's going to be marginal who winds up winning this one. Both of these teams, I think, are going to be able to carry a little bit of momentum off of this contest into the start of their playoff runs. But, of course, only one team can carry the momentum of a playoff win. Remember, again, next week we have District 11 here on MGN. Grandville opens Monday night on game night with Holland, and you can also see a look at the rest of that district up on your screen. Zeeland West, West Ottawa, Jenison, and Zeeland East the first night. Hudsonville the 1 seed, and the OK Red runner-up with the bye. Grandville out of their own timeout, tied at 42 will get it. Tyson Mann up top, Hendrickson, Haight, Hungerford, Regnerus with him. Mann drives down the left side, pull-up shot at the elbow, rolls out, no good, and the rebound is down to Byron Center and Ferguson. 4:12 to go. Ferguson will slow it down here for the Bulldogs. Man-to-man defense for Grandville. Right wing lob pass to J.J. Brock. Brock, right corner to Lee. Lee starts to dribble, drives on Mann, and a foul is called on Tyson Mann along the baseline. That'll be the 6th-team foul. Probably be the 7th-team foul on the Bulldogs, and it will send Isaac Lee to the line for a 1-and-1 right here. The foul running along the baseline to that one. That is the 2nd foul on Hungerford, 7th on the team. So 1-and-1 for the sophomore Isaac Lee. He has 7 points in this game. That's right around his season average. Bends the knees, right-hand free throw. Good. 8 now for Lee. Byron Center takes the lead back 43-42. To the halfway point of the fourth quarter, and certainly still a long ways to go. One more for 10 and white. Rattles that one home. Got the friendly touch and goes. Off the front rim, off the backboard, and falls. Tyson Mann looking to coach Young to get the offensive call in. Byron Center goes man-to-man defensively. Mann running to the basket, fouled on the floor. That is 6 on Byron Center. Next one will send the Bulldogs to the line. 3:53 in the fourth. 44-42 Byron Center. That's foul 1 on Isaac Lee. That maroon uniform for Quinton. Looking for the inbound lane, lobs up top for Regnerus. Regnerus hands off behind his back to Tyson Mann. Mann defended by Lee. Drives down the left side. No look feed is kicked by Byron Center as Brock was running out for another jam. It stays with Grandville. 44-42 BC with 3:46 in the fourth. Baseline right inbound here. Hendrickson again to throw it in. Hendrickson kicks up top for Mann. Mann defended by Lee. Right corner for Hendrickson. Starts a left-hand dribble and backs it out in front of the timeline. Hendrickson handoff Tyson Mann in between the rings. Mann loosely watched defensively here by Ferguson with 3.5. Left wing for Hungerford. Byron Center with a 2-point lead and the basketball. 44-42 BC. Who is going to close the regular season with a win and take the bulk of the momentum out of this terrific game? Ben Hegel defended in front of the timeline by Hungerford. Handoff just to his right side onto a sprinting Ferguson across the floor. Ferguson whips one from the top of the left point all the way to the right corner for Lee. Lee launches a three, fight for the rebound. The legs were taken out from underneath of the leaping J.J. Brock. That will be a 1-and-1, and it will send Brock to the line right here. Fouls on Ryder Haight, his third. He's saying to the trailing official that he was just boxing out right there, but the foul is called on Haight, and it will send Brock to the line. 8th team foul on Grandville, 6 on Byron Center. The big guy Brock with 11, just 2 points in the second half. The lone point for him was that massive right-hand tomahawk jam. First one good, he'll have another one coming. 12 points for Brock. 3:01 in the fourth, 45-42. First time if he makes this, we'll have a 2-possession lead for either team in quite some time. Brock offsets the right foot just in front of the left. Bends the knees, right hand free throw, falls short, rebound into the chest of Tyson Mann as it was tipped around. 3-point lead for Byron Center. Tyson Mann up the left side of the floor will slow it down here. Mann drives on Lee to the free throw line, kicks right wing for Hungerford, right corner for Haight. Haight will dribble to the right wing with it. Working with a left-hand dribble, now kicks in between the rings to Tyson Mann. Loosely watched here by Lee. 2-hand pass, right wing for Hendrickson. Hendrickson, step back, thought about the three, kicks up top for Regnerus. He peers at the basket, now throws right side to Haight. He thought about a deep three, now starts to dribble, defended here by Brock. Haight across the floor, jump stop, top of the key, gives up top here for Tyson Mann. Mann, stutter step, drives, whips the hands free, right-hand layup, can't get the friendly touch, on the floor, Hungerford the rebound. Haight to the corner, Hungerford, stolen by Buckley. Hungerford on the floor, rips it away from him. Haight, left corner, Hendrickson with space to tie the game. Off the front rim, no. Rebound to Ryder Haight, reverse layup, good. What an effort, possession by Ryder Haight, and a timeout from the Bulldogs. Grandville within 1. Unbelievable possession of effort out of Hungerford and Haight to bring Grandville back within 1. Scott Bates is your local Grandville, Jenison, Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Grandville. What very likely could be a bit of a turning point in this game. We've had multiple of them down the stretch. Grandville now pulls back within 1. A couple of hard-fought rebounds and rip-aways. A lot of intensity at the end of the play as well. Connor Ferguson was ripped away from a near scrum potentially by one of his teammates as he kind of stayed lingering after that timeout was called in the backcourt. And Grandville will go back on defense within 1. Here's Byron Center with a 1-point lead. 2 minutes to go. Connor Ferguson left to right over the timeline. Grandville sets up the half-court man-to-man defense. Ferguson defended by Hendrickson. Down the right side of the floor, Ferguson drives, fouled on the floor by Hendrickson. That's the 9th on Grandville. Grandville coaching staff does not like that call. Ferguson talking with Hendrickson a little bit at the end of the play. That's the 2nd foul on Hendrickson. First free throw up and short. The rebound was down to Buckley. Them reshoot right there. Someone must have stepped early. I didn't quite see what the call was, but it stays with Byron Center as Ferguson misses and gets his own rebound. Up top here for Brock. Defended by Regnerus. Handoff for a curling Buckley. Buckley in front of the timeline to Ferguson, reaching in, man on the floor, and man gets a piece of it. He and Ferguson come up tussling at the end of the play. Now Brock joins, now some shoving in the back. Man gets taken out of the scrum by his teammate Drew Hungerford. A foul is called on Tyson Mann. It will be 2 at the line coming up right here. Ryder Haight continuing to talk with one of the officials, saying there should have been a foul on Mann going back to the way that scrum initiated. But the energy is up in this one, and this is going to be quite the finish right here. It will be Ferguson at the line. That was the 3rd foul on Mann, 10th on the team. Ferguson at the line shooting 2. Fouls are 10-6. The official talking to either side, trying to settle the game down. The Byron Center student section doesn't want anything to do with settling this game down. They're fired up. The first free throw strong for Ferguson. This is going to be a heck of a finish. 90 seconds to go. Byron Center by 1. At the line, Ferguson rattles that one out. Rebound down to Regnerus. Regnerus trapped in the backcourt. Lobs for Mann. Mann races up the middle of the floor with numbers along with Hendrickson. Run into from behind by Ferguson and a foul. That will send Tyson to the line for a 1-and-1. And Tyson's got to settle down a little bit. He starts to jaw at Ferguson a bit at the end of that play. That's 3 on Connor Ferguson. 45-44. Tyson Mann at the line. He has 18 points. What a basketball game to close for Mann. 45-45. 1:22 in the 4th. One more for 0 and Maroon here at the line. Mann bends the knees, spins the ball, right hand free throw. Got it. Grandville back on top. 20 or 15 points for Tyson Mann. 46-45. Ferguson over the timeline, and a timeout from Coach Rodriguez. We'll stay with you through this break. The energy in this joint continues to get up. The fans are at each other's throats. The student sections are at each other's throats. The players have been at each other's throats. And we are setting up for one heck of a final. Minute 18. Grandville 46, Byron Center 45. This truly will be a little bit of a game of who wants it more down the stretch. Both teams have executed fairly well. We've seen shooting stretches of hot and cold for either team down the stretch in this one. What is that final advantage going to be? Tyson Mann now with 15 at the line. He was able to convert them both right there and put Grandville back on top. Now Byron Center with 1:18 to go is chasing the lead. The question is, what pace will these two teams work at? You know, we've seen Coach Rodriguez be very willing to slow down his offense. Down a point, you would not expect Byron Center, of course, to take up a lot of time in terms of maybe all of that minute 18, but it will be interesting to see what happens. Also, it will be interesting to see the foul game. Grandville has committed 10 fouls. Byron Center into the double bonus. Grandville now into the bonus themselves with 7 fouls, or with Byron Center 17 fouls. So that certainly is something to watch for. Here we go. Both teams on the floor out of the timeout. 1:18 to go, 4th quarter. Grandville 46, Byron Center 45. Probably the most high-energy, most exciting game Grandville has played this season that we've seen here on game night. Isaac Lee with it in the backcourt. The sophomore will start the offense. Chased across the floor by Tyson Mann. Lee bouncing to stop right wing. Throws left side for Ferguson with 1:08. Ferguson handoff for a curling Buckley. Buckley hands off left corner for Hego. He'll bounce into the lane. Kicks it to Brock right wing. Brock, final minute, 4th quarter. Grandville by 1. J.J. Brock getting some coaching here from Coach Rodriguez. Holding right wing. Loosely watched by Cam Regnerus. Fakes, now starts the dribble. Kicks up top for Lee. Byron Center taking their time down a point here. 45 seconds to go. Lee around a screen. Kicks left corner for Ferguson. Ferguson up top for Hegel, jabbing, defended by Hungerford. Hegel, right wing Buckley, 36 seconds. They're taking more time off the clock. Across the floor to the corner for Lee. Lee, step back three over top of man, missed it all, out of bounds. The sophomore forces it up, and Grandville takes over with 28 and a timeout from Byron Center. Lee got up talking a little bit to a couple of Bulldogs. 28.2. And Grandville gets the ball back, and now foul shooting becomes critical. We have talked all season. Welcome back inside Byron Center here. We've talked all season about the shooting struggles at the line from time to time for Grandville. It's been one of the team's issues. You know how solid Tyson Mann is. That's, of course, the first guy Grandville will be looking to get the ball to right here. And the question is, what is Byron Center going to do? We know how aggressive they have been on the full court traps all game, or more of the three-quarter court 2-2-1 presses. Likely you can expect that to turn to an aggressive full court trap. And, I mean, with the energy that we've seen, this is about to become wild, because I assume there's going to be a very hard foul that's going to get it. This is not going to be a quick touch to bring on the foul. This will be a very hard foul. Grandville leads Byron Center 46-45 on the road in a raucous environment to close the regular season. Grandville goes right to left across the radio dial. They will inbound here. Regnerus, Hendrickson, Haight, Mann, Hungerford, the Bulldog unit. Ferguson, Lee, Brock, Hegel, and Buckley out there for Byron Center. Drew Hungerford to throw in. In front of him, Brock is leaping. It's full court man-to-man pressure. Hungerford looking for the inbound lane. Got it into the arms of Hendrickson. Back to Hungerford. He is fouled by Hegel along the baseline with 25.1. So it will be Drew Hungerford, the senior, going to the line for the Bulldogs. 3 points in this game. He completed a tough three-point play earlier. 1-1 for Drew Hungerford. 25.1 of the fourth. Hungerford at the line. The Bulldogs senior to try to put his team up by 2 or 3 here. Hungerford bends the knees. Right hand free throw. Got it. He banked it in. I don't think he called bank on it, but he glasses that one down. It's 47-45. And a timeout from the Byron Center bench to draw it up. Hungerford shaking it off a little bit with a nice smirk as he'll return back to the bench. 25.1 in the fourth. Thanks, as always, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency, to Centennial Securities. They are the ones that you see each of them on your screen that are presenting sponsors here at MGN that help bring all of this, including this incredible action here tonight, too. Thanks to all of our supporters and partners with Michigan Sports Radio as well. A terrific one closing the regular season. Keep in mind, if you are here checking out the end of the game, what does MGN have next week and the rest of this week? Tomorrow night, we do have a girls basketball district championship from Zeeland West. We have Hudsonville versus Jenison. Radio coverage of that one in girls Division I, District 11, as I believe it is an attempt for 9 in a row for Coach Glass's Hudsonville team. That goes back to the 2014-2015 school year that they won their first district championship. So back even when I was in high school, even when I was younger in high school, the last time that Hudsonville did not win a district championship, the next week we have all of boys District 11 in Division I, starting with Grandville Holland on Monday night from the Dutch Dome. 25.1 in the fourth. Grandville 47, Byron Center 45. Heck of a way to close the regular season and heck of a way to start off March. Drew Hungerford at the line now for the Bulldogs. He banked home the first one. He's got one more coming up at the line right here. 4 points for number 4 right now. Hungerford dribbles once, bends the knees, right hand free throw, splash. 5 points for Hungerford. Grandville by 3 with 24 seconds. Ferguson to run. Connor Ferguson handoff to Lee. Lee to Hegel, swung left wing to Buckley, defended by Haight with 17 seconds. Buckley around a screen. Dump pass left corner for Brock. Brock bounding inside. A foul is called as the contact will be called on Quentin Hendrickson. Brock, lowered the shoulder. A blocking foul is called, not set with Hendrickson. That is his third. And into the double bonus. 2 at the line for Brock here with 12 seconds to go. 48-45. 2 at the line for the 6'3 junior Brock. He has had some emphatic jams, hit a triple earlier as well, has 12 points. Brock stares at the basket, first free throw. rattles home. Used all of the rim on all sides to put that one down, 48-46. One more at the line for J.J. Brock. Brock bends the knees, right-hand free throw, short, he missed it. Rebound Regnerus. Regnerus is fouled by Hegel. Grandville by 2 will have a 1-and-1 with Cam Regnerus at the stripe. It has been an up-and-down year and even an up-and-down game at the stripe for Cam Regnerus. CT and myself have talked about it all year. It's been the one part of his game every once in a while that's been down, but he's been a lot stronger down the stretch at the line. That's the second foul. Actually, going to call Isaac Lee on the foul, not Hegel, who had the initial touch. 48-46 Grandville, 9.9 to go. Cam Regnerus at the line shooting a 1-and-1. Grandville all in the backcourt. They will give up the rebound right here with 9 seconds and a 2-point lead. Regnerus, first free throw, got it. 19 for Cam Regnerus, Grandville by 3. A very big free throw for the junior right here to try to go up 2 scores with 9 seconds. Free throw is up. Free throw is good. Regnerus with 20, 4-point lead. Ferguson near side, runs up the floor, and a timeout is called by Coach Rodriguez. That is his final timeout. It's a full timeout. Ice in the veins of Cam Regnerus, knocks them both down at the line. He has 20 to lead all scorers, and the junior has put Grandville up 2 scores with 6.8 to go in maybe the most exciting game of this season. Of course, been a couple good Hudsonville games, most of that good Hudsonville game that the Bulldogs lost. I think Grandville's side at least hoping that this one will turn out a little bit better. 4-point lead for Grandville with 6 early from the student section, starting to head towards the exits because this thing's certainly nowhere near over yet. Decision time here, of course, also for Coach Young, how they're going to play this 4-point game. You can give up the 3 and stay in the lead, so you're mostly just looking not to foul, of course, on the shot and give up potential 4-point play. That's the only way you can die at this point in time in this one. Near side, it will be Lee to throw it in here from in front of his bench. 6.8 in the fourth, Grandville by 4. Lee kicks up top for Buckley. Buckley spinning away from Haight. Launches a 3. Off the connector, no. Rebound Ryder, Haight. He'll secure it. And he is fouled right before the horn by J.J. Brock. They will not call the game over. A foul was called right before the end of the whistle. Nope, game over. There is now the call. The official comes in. It's game over. Grandville wins. What a way to close the regular season. Grandville 50, Byron Center 46, an absolute thriller. And we welcome you into the Scott Bates Byron Center and a true thriller. The energy was up, and you're talking about ways to get the energy flowing and the momentum flowing into the playoffs. This is exactly what the Grandville side certainly wanted. We got a lot more to get to here on the Bates Agency postgame show. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency postgame show. 50-46. Grandville takes down Byron Center. and an absolute thriller here tonight. Let's take a look at your scoring recap for Byron Center. Connor Ferguson had 2. Austin Buckley led Byron Center with 17. Drew Thomas had 1. Isaac Lee, the sophomore, had 9. Ben Hegel had 4, and J.J. Brock came up with a big 13. Tyson Mann had 15 for the Bulldogs. Quentin Hendrickson had 6. Drew Hungerford 5. Ryder Haight 4, and Cam Regnerus with a huge 20 tonight to lead all scorers, and that will turn right into our Centennial Securities player of the game, Cam Regnerus. There were points where the offense was down for Grandville. They went to their big man to carry the day. He did it throughout the game. He led them in with a huge win over a rival on the road. All right, remember, tomorrow night, 6:30, we're back on the air right here wherever you're listening, on YouTube, on Twitter, or on MichiganSportsRadio.com with Hudsonville versus Jenison and the girls' District 11 championship game. Then next week, all-week coverage. Grandville versus Holland on Monday night, both semifinal games on Wednesday night, and the championship game on Friday from Division I, District 11. What a thriller here tonight. Grandville 50, Byron Center 46. The Bulldogs of Grandville close the regular season with a win. They close at 14-8. Byron Center closes at 12-10. For everyone at Michigan Sports Radio, Michigan Game Night, including Chandler Timmer, even if he's not here tonight, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. We'll see you all tomorrow night, 6:30, back on the air with the Girls District Championship.